This must really be a big relief for banks. They have scrambled to comply with these sanctions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a number of banks have had to comply, or, including state-owned banks from China, for fear of basically being cut out from dollar funding and overseas networks. So many of these, of course, banks, including American banks, Hong Kong banks, and Chinese banks, have had to comply with this order that basically came down through this law that was passed in October, the Hong Kong Autonomy Act, and the subsequent State Department issuing of a list in October of some 10 people that would be sanctioned, including the most high-profile person is the chief executive here, Carrie Lam, who famously at the time scoffed at the impact it would have on her financial situation, only then to a couple weeks ago tell local media here that she can't be banked. No bank will have her, and that she's paid her salary, which is one of the highest for a leader in the world, by the way, at over $600,000 a year, that she was being paid in cash, and she had stacks of cash piling up in her home. Well, now banks have had to comply with the U.S. order, but they are probably breathing a sigh of relief right now, because this is the statement coming from Treasury Department, which was mandated to reply within 60 days of that State Department issuing of the list. This is what the Treasury Department said. At this time, Treasury has not identified any foreign financial institution that has knowingly conducted a significant transaction with a foreign person identified by the State Department. That being said, they will continue the vigilance and look out for any activity that does meet the criteria.
Steve, in the meantime, we've been looking at what's going on with the media mogul Jimmy Lai. He's been charged officially under the national security law.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a somewhat related issue here as well, because under the national security law, of course, this is not retroactive. These are for alleged crimes that he committed under the national security law between July 1st, which is the first full day of implementation of national security law in Hong Kong, and December 1st. And prosecutors were telling the magistrate over the weekend, when these formal charges for colluding with foreign forces were levied on him, basically they specified the offenses as Lai calling for a foreign entity, didn't say the United States, but essentially it is, to impose sanctions, and that he allegedly engaged in hostile activities towards Hong Kong and China between July 1st and December 1st. Because he was on Bloomberg television. I've interviewed him several times. He was on TV here in May, and he said this, quote, "Our only salvation is for President Donald Trump to impose sanctions." And he also went on to say that the most impactful initial move would be to freeze the bank accounts of top Chinese officials. So a spokesperson for Jimmy Lai, Mark Simon, has said that it appears that the evidence right now that has been put forth to the magistrate comes from these kinds of interviews he has given to media, not just Bloomberg, but others. He has been denied bail, and the case has been adjourned until April 16th. So Jimmy Lai, who was paraded before the cameras in shackles and chains this weekend, will most likely stay in jail waiting the next date in court on April 16th.